This is part one of two videos on digital information available for records in the state of Missouri. These are records that can be searched for free at home on your computers. New information is always being added and made available, so it is important to continue to search the records in the future to see if more information can be found. Today I want to show you how to use the Missouri State Archives to research and find information. I have used this for quite a few years, but there's some other sections that I want to cover that I have not used very much. But first of all, if you just type in Missouri State Archives, and you're going to look for this Missouri Digital Heritage. And then you go over here, this is quick links, and we're going to do the Missouri death certificates. And it's pretty simple. These are death certificates from 1910 to 1972. And I'm just going to start with my great-great-grandfather, Watts. This is actually how I found his death. I didn't have that information before. And he died in Atchison County. We went to the cemetery years ago, and I knew which cemetery he's buried in, but there's no tombstone, no information on him. And then I found these records here, and this is what I found. Okay, Robert Watts, he died February 7th, 1912. Since I just typed in Watts, it comes up with these other, Charles and Doris F. Watts. I know I'm related to Charles. I don't know about Doris. I'd have to do more research on her. But here, over here, you can say view the image, and there is his death record. It tells me his name, and then of course I've got the information here that he died on February 7th, 1912, his birth date, date of birth. Anyways, just, and the parents, Thomas Watts, Nancy Hargis, so I know this is my great-grandfather, and there's his wife, Martha Watts. So it's really fun to use this database to find, if you find somebody on here. Let's go back to the search. So you can also search for spouse, father, mother. So let's type in father and Atchison County. Let's see if Thomas comes up. Nope, there's Amy Watts' mother. That's my family. Elmer Watts. Now I'm not sure why this didn't come up before, but let's look and see who it's for. This is definitely my family. Okay, it says Flossy E. West and Elmer Watts and Amy Watts. Anyways, let's go back again, and so I'm going to have to look more at that. I'm pretty sure I know who Elmer is. So you can do, if you're not sure how to spell it, it says contains, starts with, ends with, exact. So it has a search engine where you can kind of filter. You can do middle name that starts with, ends with. And you can change the counties, and also you have this death range, so you can put in the different dates in there. So that's how this one works. We will cover a few other things that you can find online through Missouri. Okay, I want to show you a little bit more. Down here at the bottom of this, this digital heritage on the death records, you can come down here. It says pre-1910 Missouri births and deaths records database. So let's click on that. And right here I want to say Missouri birth and death database pre-1910. So we're going to click there. And here we can put in a county and then a name. And I haven't done a lot of research on this one, but I want to show you how it works. And so I'm just going to type in Watts, and I'm going to do a search. And this comes up with the place of birth, was in Watts, like this one says Watson Atchison. Gives the birth date. There was no name provided on this one. It gives the birth date, or the birth date right here, the father's name, the mother's name, and her maiden name. So this is why Watts came up, and this happens to be my relative. Lily Stoner is Robert's sister. So it's a great aunt of mine, and it was their son. Now, if you notice down here, they give the name. It's exactly the same information. And it says view details. Now, you don't get all the information. You don't get to see the record like the ones after 1910. But it gives you the information. American nationality, age 23. This is Illinois. I believe this is the father right here. Date of return, name of the child, race, color, date of birth, place of birth, mother's name, maiden name, and residence of the mother, father's name. So you're going to get different information on that. At least you can find information that you may not have had before. Then you can go back to a new search. Now there's also death records, so let's just go ahead and type in Watts and search. And here we get the name of the person, how old they were, male or female, their color, date of death, and the county. And I really doubt that any of these are my relatives because they're not in the area, but again, you get some details. So let's just go to this William Watts and view the details. And it's the same type of thing. They're going to give you information. You read through it and see what you can find on here. The place of burial, name of undertaker, residence of the physician. Anyways, so you can find information before 1910 for birth and death using this search. Okay, I found this Reclaim the Records. They are trying to get public records more available for people, and they have done helped get some records from Missouri available. And so if you just go to Reclaim the Records, and up here it shows records request, and it gives the different states. And I have Missouri, so I wanted to show you how we can get some of these death records through this, but it's basically the same as what I showed you before. It's just another avenue of getting there, but I would continue to watch this Reclaim the Records because they're continually coming up with more records in different states. So if we go to the death index, start your free search, and this is for records from 1968 to 2022. So start your free search, and then I have a relative. I'm going to come over here, Estella C. Carter, and I have a birth date and where she was born. On her death date, it just says Missouri, and in November of 1971. So we're going to look for her. So I'm going to type in Estella, and her married name was Watts. And we know that she died in 1971, so you just pick a date. So I'm going to just pick this 1969 January, and we'll just go with that. And then over here, I need it to be after that, so because I'm wanting it to do a search and have 1971 be in between there. So then I will say search, and it comes up with Estella Watts, and here's one, November 24th of 1971. So I'm assuming that is her. So let's click on here. We can view. It says to view the death certificate, and it takes me back to this Missouri Digital Heritage, which I've showed you before, and I have this in here. I'm going to do my search, and it comes up with two different Estella Watts, and here's one that died on the 24th of November 1971, and I can view the image. Okay, and Estella Watts, she's a female. She died the 24th of November 1971, and she died in Buchanan, and her date of birth is the 2nd of September 1877. If we look over here, that is the birth date I have. So now I know that she died in Buchanan County. And there it is, Buchanan County, Missouri. So I now can have that in there, and then I can also, it was the 24th of November. So I can add that date in there and save. Now it says Foster Cemetery, Harrison County, Missouri. Everything's caps, so it's not standardized. Let's go back and look at the death certificate. Here it is. Okay, down here, sometimes they tell us on these death certificates, here it is. Cemetery, Foster Cemetery, New Hampton, Missouri. And I think that's what was on there, Foster Cemetery, New Hampton. Foster Cemetery, New Hampton. So let's go here and say Foster Cemetery, New Hampton. Did it give the county? Let's see here. New Hampton, Missouri. I don't know if New Hampton city. It doesn't give us the county. Okay. Down here it says Harrison. Maybe it has changed. New Hampton, Missouri. Caldwell, White Oak. I don't see. Oh, whoops. I think I saw something and then it went running off. I think it was Harrison County, Missouri. There's New Hampton, Harrison County. So let's type in Harrison County. It says White Oak Township, but I'm going to go ahead and click here and click save. And we have been able to update this information and the death information and validate this. Now, since we have that, we can download this, and I'll put it in my downloads, and I'm going to change this down here to Watts Estella death certificate. Okay, and save. And then I can go over here into, she has no memories in here, there's no images, so I'm going to add a file from my device, and I will go to downloads. It should be in my downloads. Today, so let's see what we have here. Oops, downloads. It did not download it. Okay, so I have another option. Let me see here if I go to downloads. I don't know why, shortcut. Okay, maybe it is here. Let's go to Watts down here at the bottom. Nope, don't see it. Okay, so let me show you another way to do this. Let me go back here. So if I do the Windows Shift and S, I can actually make a copy of this record. Okay, and I click here on this. You can also use a snipping tool, but I'm going to save this document and I'm going to put in my downloads. So as you see, so let's go ahead and do this again. Watts, Estella, death certificate. I was thinking about redoing this, but I think it's good for people to see that sometimes things don't turn out just the way you want them, and there are other alternatives. So I'm going to click Save. It's in my downloads. So let's try this again. Go to Estella and add a memory from my file. Go to my device, your device, and go to my downloads, and there it is. And I can say open that, and it's now here. So then I can click on this, and I should be able to change the title. It gives it what the name of the image that you put in. So I'm going to edit the title and just say death certificate for Estella Watts, and save that. So I want you to see how we can get that information and get it put up here. I can go back here to Estella, and now I should have one memory. Yep, one memory there. So let's go back to details, and you can see that I have one memory, and that is her death certificate. Okay, I'm going to stop this temporarily, and I will show you some more in a minute. All right, I wanted to show you one more thing on this. Is Estella's husband, Harry Thomas Watts, and the two of them, their first son was James Vincent Watts. So I looked him up in this index. Let me go see if I can find here. Nope, it's this one right here, this tab. It comes up with James V. Watts, and this is his death date. Now notice here you cannot see the death certificate. So I wanted to show you, point this out. The death certificates are available for 1910 through 1972. So on this one, I can find Estella by going to this Missouri Heritage. But to be able to find anything past 1972 using this Missouri death index, we can at least find people that are born or have died after 1972, which in his case was 1991. So at least you have an index that you can find death dates on using this search here from this Reclaim the Records. Alright, in this video I have covered mostly death records, but I wanted to do another video, but this one's getting quite long. And so on the next video I will be covering some of these other links to histories, plat books, directories. Anyways, I hope that this has been helpful and that you can find more information on your Missouri ancestors. Happy hunting!